Welcome to the latest episode of the Scholar Hour here on The Blind Beat. My name is AZ, and today we speak to Jameson Dunn. He is a multi-time recipient of the San Antonio Lighthouse Scholarship, and he's currently attending Texas State University in San Marcos, where he is currently studying mass communications with a minor in theater. Diagnosed with Stargardt's at the age of 10, he attributes his success to a great support system. So without further delay, here's the interview with Jameson Dunn. Alright guys, thanks for joining us on another Scholar Hour here on The Blind Beat. Today I have Jameson Dunn. He's joining us today to talk about his story. How's it going, Jameson? How you doing today, man?
I'm great, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Is this the first time you won the San Antonio Lighthouse Scholarship?
I think I won it a year or two ago, but one of the first times, yeah.
How did you find out about the scholarship?
So my father and stepmother are actually co-presidents of the Foundation Fighting Blindness, and someone there, I think, actually pointed me in the right direction to the Lighthouse for the Blind and everything y'all do, and heard about a scholarship, and I was going into college, so it was just the right opportunity to apply for it.
Perfect timing right there.
Yeah.
What is your eye condition?
So I have Stargardt's. It's a juvenile form of macular degeneration, which basically means I have a blind spot in the center of my vision. Most of my peripheral and side vision is still there, and I can see decently well with that, but mostly I'm blind in my central vision.
When were you diagnosed with this eye condition?
So it was actually right around when I turned 10. I went to the eye doctor, and we all thought it was like a routine checkup, but the doctor noticed some weird things. We did some more tests, and then he eventually told us that I had Stargardt's, and it was kind of a big shock to my family because we knew that I had some eye troubles, but we didn't know it was that severe. So it was right around when I turned 10, so pretty young actually.
Was the vision changed? Because I know with Stargardt's, you do hold on to a lot of vision. Was there any accessibility or anything that came about to completing your schoolwork? I guess that would be like 5th grade on into junior high and high school.
I think it was around 4th or 5th grade when it happened. So I was still in elementary school. So I was young and I didn't really know anything. I didn't even really notice I had an eye condition because you grow up with it. That's just your life. You don't really realize it.
Right.
So it was it wasn't a big shock to me or big change because it was more gradual. It didn't happen all of a sudden. So I got in touch with my teachers, and my mom helped in everything, and my dad, and we got a monocular and an electronic magnifier that you kind of hover over the page, and it digitally enhances it, and some audiobooks, and my teachers would help me read things and just different things like that.
So it didn't change that much where you had to learn Braille or you had to use like a screen reader to access your schoolwork.
No, it wasn't that severe. I never had to learn Braille. They recommended it, but I still haven't yet. I haven't had the need for it.
Did you get involved in any extracurricular activities like in junior high or high school?
Yeah, in elementary through middle school, I played baseball for the longest time, but I eventually had to stop that. Yeah, because it got harder and harder to see the baseball and just the different things going on in the field. So I had to stop doing that, or else I'd get hit in the head with the baseball or something like that. So I took on basketball, which was a little better. The ball's bigger. There's kind of less going on, which was fun, and I enjoyed doing that. But eventually I moved into swimming, which I kind of stuck with through junior high and a little bit in high school. Not with the school, but it was a extracurricular outside of school. But that was good because you're kind of just on your own and you're just in the pool swimming. You're not trying to catch a ball or see anything going on. You really just have to not hit the wall and turn at the right time. So I did swimming for a long time, and I still like doing that. So that was honestly the easiest sport, and it was the right fit for me that I did for the longest time.
Cool. Do you still do that or no?
Occasionally, I'd like to, but with school going on, and obviously right now, I wish I could, but it takes a lot of time. When you get on those swim teams, they want you to practice, 2 hours a day in the morning, and it's fun, but it's a lot of work. I'd like to do it though. But
So what school are you currently going to?
So right now I'm going to Texas State University up in San Marcos.
You had mentioned to me off air that you transferred to Texas State University. So you lived here in San Antonio?
Yeah, this is where I was born and raised. I went to Northwest Vista with the Alamo colleges just to
Mm-hmm.
do some of my basics. And honestly, I went there because of the class size. They have sort of a more high school level classroom size where it's like 30 to maybe 40 kids, which
Yeah.
I liked because I could, sit closer to the board and have a closer relationship with the teacher if I, need any accommodations or anything like that. So
Yeah.
I went there, and that honestly worked out really well because now that I'm at Texas State, I have a few auditorium classes where there's like hundreds of people, and
Yeah.
the teachers are still accommodating and nice, but it is harder to see the board, or it's just when there's such a big amount of kids there, it's hard to accommodate the one who needs something.
Right. How was it the transition from living at home and then moving to a university? It's a whole new. I don't. I don't know if it's a city, but it's a town. It's a whole
Yeah.
new town. It's a whole new environment. How was that transition?
It was interesting. Going into it, I was really nervous, honestly, and because I had never really lived on my own. But my parents had really helped me. My sister went to Texas State also, so I kind of saw how it was there, and I went and visited her and saw the campus. So I knew I could get around there and everything. I guess the main thing was going around on my own and finding my classes and getting food and just doing the daily things that I used to get help with. It was really nice. I think I was lucky because I had my girlfriend and my some of my friends went there, so I kind of already had a friend group who I
Cool.
was comfortable with and who would help me with things. So honestly, they helped me a lot too. It was easier than I thought, if
Yeah.
I'm being honest. I actually really enjoyed the process of being on my own and learning how to find my classes and
That's great because that could be overwhelming at times, and
Mhm.
especially like you said, it's the daily things, and then oh hey, you also got to go to class,
Yeah,
So, but so you lived in the dorm?
I did. Yeah, the first year. So I went to Northwest Vista my freshman year, and so I transferred from my sophomore year to Texas State. And I could have gone to an apartment, but I wanted to stay in the dorm just because it's right off the campus. I can just walk to class, and so that was great to do,
Yeah.
and it's more familiar.
What are you currently studying there at Texas State University?
So I'm studying mass communication, and minoring in theater, which is basically the theater has some film classes and some other video classes. And more specifically, in the mass communication, I'm doing electronic media, which is video production and sort of journalism and news and that area of media.
Do you have something specific like you're working for that you want to do?
I'm into video editing right now. I think that might be the path I want to go on. Just kind of funny for a person like me to be in the video field and everything. Luckily, with the vision I have, I can still
Yeah.
do it with some help and with some magnification things. But yeah, I really like video production. I sort of found that I have a passion for that over the last few years, and more these past 2 years. I took a video editing class in the theater department there, and I really enjoyed doing that. And yeah, I think that's kind of where my interest lies right now and what I think I might want to do.
What program do you use to edit?
So I use Adobe Premiere Pro.
What kind of magnification do you use? What Windows offers, or what the Mac offers, or are you using like a software like Zoom Text?
So I actually just use the Windows magnifier.
Okay.
That's on the computer, just the base, standard one. I've used Zoom Text. I like it, but it's just there's some like ease of access things that kind of bother me with it. So I honestly just like using the Windows one. And what I found is I'm looking through the internet. I was like, oh, there's got to be like a faster way of zooming in because I think
Uh-huh.
you have to like hold the Windows key and then press a bunch of buttons. So I found a program where you can just click a button on the mouse and it'll zoom in for you, and so that's helped a lot just to like do things quicker on the computer and move around the screen faster. So
Very
that's
cool.
honestly, yeah, that's what helped a lot with the video editing and different other things.
And you found that by just you doing the research and
Yeah, I mean, there's always, certain things that I'm sure people with visual issues annoy them. Like, oh, there's got to be an easier way to do this or do that. So I would just look up things, and different people, sometimes with Stargarts or with other conditions, trying to do the same thing that I'm doing, would have solutions for, and they figured it out. So it's really great that people, help out other people like that.
I also was reading on your essay that you're currently working. or what do you do?
So at the school, there's I work at the athletics department, and I'm a video editor. Mainly, I worked with volleyball and then basketball before the season had to end and
Hmm.
everything. But so they would film the games. They started doing ESPN Plus. It's like a new service they have. So they brought in all these cameras and they were hiring a bunch of people. And so I applied for the video editor's position because I
Right.
found an interest in that, and I had a lot of fun with that actually. So basically, what they would do is take the footage from all the games and they would make promos sometimes on certain players, or like make like a team hype video to get everyone excited for the upcoming game, or if there was a holiday coming up they would ask them questions like, oh, what's your favorite Halloween candy, or what do you want to get this Christmas? Just fun stuff to put online and social media. I really love doing that, honestly. That's kind of what pushed me to do that as a career, hopefully, after I graduate. They really
Cool.
give you kind of free rein on how you want to do it too. They're just like, just make it fun, or just here's some of the footage, here's some music, and they really just give you the time to be creative with it. So it's a lot of fun.
That's great. And also, you also work at the radio station. What do you do there?
So at the radio station, I worked in the multimedia department, also as a not as a video editor, but as a videographer. And at the radio station, I'm sure you know from when you were there, they kind of have it's more volunteer positions, so you can kind of more
Right.
pick and choose which projects you want to be a part of. So I would do the Studio Cs with when bands would come in, local bands or bands from Austin or
Uh-huh.
San Antonio or the local area. They would come in and do a live show, and we would record it and get all the sound mixed in, and then edit it and then put it out. And I edited one of them before the everything had to end quickly, but yeah, I just filmed that a few times, and that was a lot of fun too, being able to like collaborate with everyone. So it was a good time.
It's great to be a part of things in college. Like you really feel like you become a part of it, you know? And so
Absolutely.
I'm glad you're doing that. Let me ask you this, man. What is your passion? What drives you to do what you do?
Honestly, right now, like as I mentioned, my passion is creating videos or creating, I don't know, any form of content, and just being able to kind of be like you said, being a part of a team where where we can like create something like any class project. Like in my class I had last semester, it was a visual storytelling class, and we got to make a documentary, and me and my partner got to go interview all these people, this Native American group that we did it on, and they had this big tribal, what's it called, a powwow. They had a big
Mm-hmm.
powwow, and we got to film that and edit it, interview all these people, and it was just so fun to be able to meet all these interesting people and tell like their story and put it out. And so honestly, just being able to just tell stories and get involved with other people and be a part of something fun is what I love doing.
What would you tell somebody who's got a visual impairment and wants to get out there, wants to maybe go to college or university, but doesn't know where to start? What would be your advice to them?
Honestly, I think for me, at least personally, it was having a really strong support system kind of back me up and know that I had all these people behind me. Like if something would happen, I could always call on them, or, if I ever needed any help, I could call on them. But mainly it was just getting out there and just doing it. I know that's like not, it's like such a simple thing to say. It sounds easy to do, but a lot of things you're not going to know until you try it. And
Mm-hmm.
so, having visual impairments, and, people have their own fears and whatnot with that, and being embarrassed or whatever. And yeah, that can happen, but you get embarrassed, you're going to get through it. It doesn't really matter in the long run. At least you'll learn something. But basically just getting out there and doing it, because you can have fears about, oh, what if this happens, what if that happens, I can't see this, I can't see that. But honestly, I think it'll work out better than you think. And if you don't do it, you're never going to learn and grow and be more independent that way. It's You can't let the fear hold you back, basically. Like for example, in high school, I was in the marching band, and that sounds like something crazy for someone who has a visual impairment, but it was easier for me because in marching band you use your peripherals, and that's what my strong suit was. So I was
Mm-hmm.
able to be pretty successful in that, and I became the section leader there and was able to teach other people. And it's just because I did it. It wasn't because I was scared to do it. I knew I could apply myself, and I worked really hard. It's always about just finding a different way to do it. You're going to do it a different way than someone who has normal vision, but you're going to find a way to do it.
I commend you for that because you are, I could tell just by talking to you for a little bit, you work at it and you try different things to figure it out how to do it. So
Absolutely. And not everything's going to work out too. Yeah, I'm never going to drive a car, but I can find other ways to get to places where I want to be. It's always just finding a different way to do it,
yeah.
even if not 100% everything's going to work out.
All right. So talk to me about the FFB, the Foundation Fighting Blindness. You're pretty involved in that, aren't you?
Yeah, me and my family, I think it was 10 years ago now we got involved with it. Right when I got diagnosed with Stargardt's, or maybe it was a little bit after that, but we got involved through a family friend, and they told us about it, and we went to the first Vision Walk. Is if no one knows, the foundation puts on a San Antonio Austin Vision Walk every year, and they do vision walks all around the country. But we got involved with that, and eventually my dad and stepmother became co-presidents, and so we have meetings, and eye doctors come in and they give information, and basically the main goal with the Vision Walk also is we raise money to fund retinal research for various eye conditions going on, so that obviously hopefully we can find a cure someday. And so really it's about getting information out there and getting people involved and knowing that there is a resource for these people who might have just been diagnosed and are scared and think their life is over, they can't see. But it's really about giving them hope and knowing like, hey, we're doing these retinal research projects and there is a hope, and here's some resources, and come to our meetings and our support groups. So it's really all about just getting involved with that community and helping other people find resources.
Very cool. All right, man. Well, I want to congratulate you once again for receiving the San Antonio Lighthouse Scholarship. And I also want to thank you for giving us this time to talk to us a little bit about your life. Eat 'em up, cats.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, man. During this interview, we heard about the Foundation Fighting Blindness. To find out more information and to find a chapter near you, go to www.fightingblindness.org. Join us next time for another interview with the San Antonio Lighthouse Scholarship winner. To interact with the show, follow us on Twitter at The Blind Beat.